Would you like to learn how to receive divine downloads and clear messages from soul so you can receive that higher guidance to go about your life in a more uplifted way and in alignment with what you're meant to do? Well, if so, then this video is for you, because I want to share with you 7 powerful steps that can help you start aligning yourself and opening yourself up to receiving the higher guidance and also the messages from soul. So stay tuned. Hello, the beautiful soul. Welcome back to another video. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. So excited you're here. Now, if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and also hit the notification bell in order to get notified whenever I release new content, because on this channel I focus all about spiritual awakenings and helping you awaken to your power within. Opening yourself up to and then also receiving divine guidance can really help you in your life, because if you're ever in doubt around something, if you're not quite sure, you can tune in and you can connect with soul and you can receive the higher guidance. Now, you can also do this with connecting with the higher realms, whether it's you working with certain angels, light beings, archangels, goddesses or gods. I mean, all these beings of light, they're here to assist you. It's just you got to open yourself up to allowing them in, because the light beings, they don't just come in and barge in and give you all the guidance. You have to be open to it. You have to open yourself up to receiving that, because you have free will. And that's why whenever you have questions, whenever you need guidance, you can connect with your soul and receive inner guidance, higher guidance, and you can also open yourself up to receive higher guidance from the higher realms, whether it's the angels, guardian angels, archangels, unicorns. I mean, you name it. There's so many light beings that are here ready to assist you once you open yourself up to it, and also, of course, call them in. Now, you may wonder, can anyone receive higher guidance? And the answer is yes. You already hold the gift. And even if you haven't been able to get much divine guidance up until this point, it's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean that you're not meant to do this, that you can't do this, that you're not good enough or whatnot. It is a learned skill, because it's like you already have it within you, because we're all one. We're all connected. You are also connected to the higher realms. But you, like I said, mentioned, you have to open yourself up to it. The more you open yourself up to that, the easier it will be for you to then connect with the higher realms. But I'm going to share with you those 7 steps in this video to start opening yourself up. And then, of course, you can also check out my third eye and crown chakra activation. The links are in the description below. Opening up your third eye and also your crown chakra can help you really connect more deeply with the higher realms, because your third eye is your spiritual eye, right? So you can see more clearly. And then the crown chakra, it opens up your channels to the higher realms. So if you want to open them, check out the links in the description below so you can go through the activation to open up your crown and third eye. But like I mentioned, anyone has the ability to connect deeply and to receive higher guidance. And when you allow yourself to really be led by soul and receive the higher guidance, you're truly living a soul-led life where everything just starts flowing more easily. And like I said, whenever you're having questions, whenever you're in doubt, you can tune in, you can get the guidance to see what is the best next step for you to take. How can you go about this? What is best for you to know about a certain situation or even a person, and things like that. When you really start working with your higher self, your soul, and also the higher guidance, so much is really possible for you that really keeps you in alignment with who you are, with your soul's blueprint, your soul's path moving forward. So it's truly a beautiful thing. Think of it like that. You have your own mastermind always handy, always available to you, that whenever you have a question, you can tune in and you can get the guidance. And with the 7 steps that I'm going to share with you today, that will make it so much easier. And even if you are already receiving the guidance, still maybe stay with this video and watch this video, because there may be some tips in there that I'm sharing with you that maybe you're not doing, or maybe that can help you to really evolve in your ability to receive the guidance. The first step is you want to really tune in. You want to become still and deeply connect within, like within your heart center, because that's the seat of your soul, right? Anytime, even when you want to work with the higher realms, you want to still tune into your heart, Because with the open heart, you will be able to really connect more deeply. When you're staying in your mind, that's ego territory. When you're staying in your mind, it's going to be very challenging for you. Now, you may still get guidance, but the guidance may be watered down by ego's input. So you want to really tune in and connect within your heart center. So just tune in, you close your eyes, you're not distracted, really just focus on your heart center. And when you're deeply connected, you may even take a few deep breaths to really get grounded, get centered. But when you're feeling really deeply connected, then you can call forth your soul, you can call forth specific guides or your team of guides, or you can even call forth the highest, best, most loving light beings that can best support you. Now, it's as simple as, there's no magic formula for that. You can say something as simple, I now call forth my soul. I now call forth the highest, best, most loving light beings that can best support me now. I now call forth whichever guide you want to call forth. It's as simple as that. And then just allow yourself to stay there for a moment and notice the shift in energy. Notice the shift in vibration, or just notice how you're feeling. Whenever they're connecting, whatever your soul connects with you, for me, the experience that I have whenever I connect with my soul, I feel like an inner sitting up, like I'm sitting up a little straighter from within. Whenever I call forth certain guides or just my team of guides, I feel them actually coming in from the back. I feel somewhat of a warm sensation whenever I call in certain light beings. I feel their presence. Some of their presence feels very big and bold. Some of their presence feels very light and soft. Now, here, it may be different for you, but just deeply connect and really open yourself up and then call them forth. And whenever you're noticing that they're there, then the second step is bring up that question that you have within your mind. Like, really bring attention to the question that you have that you would like to get some guidance on. You can then say it in your mind, whenever your guides are there, whenever you're connected, you can then focus on the question. What is important for me to know right now? How can I do this? Is this to my highest and greatest good? Whatever question that you have, bring up that question in your mind. Put attention onto that question. But here, not trying to then come up with the answer yourself or trying to force the answer. Just let it float around. Let it float around in your mind. Really connect it deeply. And whenever you're noticing that your mind is trying to come in and trying to answer the question, just take a deep breath again and drop back into your heart. You don't want to be in your mind when you're doing this, because like I said, then your ego is going to try to water down the information. So just deeply connect. And then just put your attention on the question. And then the third step here is you want to then ask the question and be silent. Now here you can actually do that in writing as well, just to make it easier for you, because you may just try to tune in and in your mind, and it's not, you're not getting the guidance. I actually like to do it in writing as well. I even do my Akashic record readings in writing, even for my clients and also for myself, because when I do it in writing, I get more context. When I do it like just tuning in and having a conversation with my guides like that, for one, I often forget certain things about it. I just didn't remember just the most important things, but not all the little things in between. So when you do it in writing, you can get a lot more context, and it's also easier because then you're focusing on something instead of being in your mind, eyes closed, and then your mind likes to wander. So you can also do it in writing. You can write down the question. For example, what is important for me to know right now? What is the best and most aligned way for me to do this, this, and this? Is this to my highest and greatest good? Whatever question you have, put it on the paper. So ask the question and be silent. Be open to receiving the guidance. Now you may have your pen really on the paper, ready to write, and just wait for that go. Let the guide speak through you with the pen. This is basically automatic writing. So you want to ask the question and then be silent and allow the answer to flow. Now here also, don't try to figure out the answer. Don't try to come up with the answer yourself. And here also, when you're noticing that you're trying to figure it out, tune back into your heart and allow it to come forth. Allow the answer to come forth. When you're noticing you're becoming impatient, also drop back into your heart, breathe through it, just gaze at the question that you have written down. Or if you're doing it in your mind, just bring up that question again in your mind and just gaze at the question. ask the question again. Or if you're still not getting anything, you can then actually ask, what better question should I ask here? Because sometimes maybe you're not asking the right kind of question. So here you can also get guidance that way. Then the fourth step here is you want to surrender any attachment. So you really want to detach from any attachment. You want to detach from any outcome. You want to detach from any answers you would love to have. And here I just want to mention something. If you're asking a question that is really dear to your heart, just be careful, because it can also mean that, for one, you're not getting the right kind of guidance, or it's watered down from your ego, because sometimes you may be too close to whatever it is that you want, and you may be too attached to the outcome that, for one, maybe you're not getting the right kind of message, or you're not interpreting the message in the right way. So you may interpret the message in the way that you want to interpret the message, but you may miss the underlying most important message. But the most important thing is you want to surrender any attachment. Like, really, don't be attached to any outcome or to any answer, because for one, you may become disappointed if you're not getting the answer that you want, or you're not even getting anything because you're too attached. You're not even open to receiving the truth. Because soul and the guides, they never BS you. They give you nothing but the truth. And sometimes the truth is not what we want to hear. So when you surrender any attachments and you're really open to receiving the guidance, you're receiving the truth, that is so powerful. Now, of course, then you just have to accept the truth as well. But surrender any attachments. And if, for example, the answer doesn't come up right away, then you may be too close to it. So here, then just go about your day. Don't feel bad. Don't feel impatient or frustrated because you didn't get the answer. Perfectly fine. You will get the answer when you're ready for it. And sometimes that can actually happen when you least expect it, because maybe you're tuning in, trying to get the guidance, but you're also in the back of your mind thinking about your big to-do list, or you're, like I said, too attached to the outcome. Then you're not getting the guidance right in this moment because you're simply not open to it. So when you're noticing that you asked a question, you're not getting anything, perfectly fine. Surrender and just go about your day. The answer will come when you are ready to receive the guidance. Then the fifth step here is you want to make note of the guidance that you receive. Now, of course, if you're doing it in writing, you're getting the guidance right there anyways. But let's say you have to go about your day, you didn't get the guidance right away, keep a notebook handy. Because I tell you, the guidance will come in the most unexpected ways, when you least expect it, and oftentimes also when you're actually not even, when you don't have nothing to write. I often get messages when I'm in the shower, when I'm driving, or even during meditation. Like I remember the other day I was going through a workshop and we're in this deep meditation and I was getting all these downloads. I'm like, oh my God, I can't write anything down. I was trying to focus on the meditation and I was getting the downloads. I'm like, guys, can you just wait until I'm done with the meditation? And they did. I mean, that was good. So after the meditation, I was able to write everything down. I remembered everything. It was beautiful. But just expect the unexpected. Expect to receive the messages and the guidance when you least expect it and when you're least prepared to write it down. So for the longest time, what I did, I had a little notebook that I carried with me in my purse whenever I went anywhere, or when I was driving, that I was speaking in the voice recorder on my phone, and then as soon as I got home, I listened to it and I wrote it down in my little booklet. But just be prepared that you will get the guidance when you least expect it. And sometimes the guidance can actually be in disguise, where maybe something happens that gives you the message that you need to hear. Because the message, the guidance can come in numerous ways. Whether it's maybe you're watching a movie or a TV show and then something in there happens that gives you actually the answer that you were looking for. Or maybe you're seeing something, or you're coming across someone, you have a conversation with someone, you're reading something in a magazine, for example. Whatever. The message comes in whatever way is to your highest and greatest good. But whenever you do get the message, make sure you write it down, because it's easier than also to forget. Then the sixth step is you want to trust the guidance. This is so important, because if you are getting guidance, or when you get the guidance, you want to trust it. Don't question it. Don't disregard it. trust the guidance. And here you can then actually double check. Now, for one, if you got the guidance a little later, then that most likely was divine guidance. But let's say you are doing it in the moment, you're trying to get the guidance, and you did get the guidance, you can check, okay, how does it feel? Because your ego may still try to throw things at you, trying to deceive you, and trying to water down the guidance. So what you can do is whatever you have written down, tune into that and see how does it feel. Usually divine guidance, it just feels right. Yes, it's going to stretch you. It feels maybe uncomfortable, but there's an underlying frequency of it is right. It may feel lighter. Also, as you're getting the guidance, you can also tune in. Is the guidance coming easily and it flows? Or do you kind of have to think about it? Whatever you have to think about, that's a good sign that ego is having its hand in you getting the guidance. And whenever you're reading through it, whenever you're looking at it, and it feels heavy, it feels restricted, it feels limited, it feels just not right, that was then ego guidance. Here you can maybe then just throw that out, tune in again, and do that again. Now, of course, this will also become better the more you do. The more you tune in, the more you get the guidance, the easier it will be. But the most important thing is you want to trust the guidance. If you don't trust the guidance, well, then eventually you're not going to get the guidance anymore because, well, you're not trusting it, right? So trust the guidance. And then the seventh and final step is you want to act upon the guidance. This is so important because whatever guidance you get, well, your guides, the higher realms, your soul would like for you to then act on it. I mean, that's why you got the guidance, right? You ask, you receive the guidance, then you got to do something with it. You got to act on it. And sometimes just taking small steps is enough. But you want to be in motion. You want to be in movement. You want to act upon the guidance, even if it's just tiny little steps. Let's say you get an idea to create something, but you can't create everything in that day. Well, you can start the planning. You can start outlining stuff. You can start something. And then each day you act upon that. You start working on that. That is enough to act upon the guidance. But acting upon the guidance is so important because if you don't act upon it, just think back at a time when a friend of you came to you, asked for advice, and you gave the advice. And it was actually pretty good advice, but then they just disregarded it or didn't do anything. And you're like, well, why did this person come to me, ask me for guidance if they don't take me up on my guidance, if they don't do anything? Right? So if it happens more often, then eventually you're going to be at a point like, well, I'm not going to tell you anything anymore because, well, you're not listening to me anyways. So what's the point? And it's kind of the same thing with you getting guidance from your soul and the higher guidance. It's like when you ignore it, you just get the guidance, but then don't do anything with it. Then they're like, well, we start giving you guidance again whenever you start acting up on the guidance. Because whatever guidance you get is to your highest and greatest good. It's going to scare you most likely. It's going to stretch you. It's most likely also going to make you step outside of your comfort zone. But that's okay. That's how you grow. Whatever guidance you receive is to your highest and greatest good. And will bring you whatever is to your highest and greatest good as well. But it's really that simple. There's nothing big about, getting this divine guidance. It's as simple as just tuning in, connecting, asking questions, surrendering, allowing the guidance to flow, trusting the guidance, and acting upon the guidance. It's that simple. And of course, the more you practice this, the easier it will become. And then the easier the guidance will come. Then you can just tune in. You have a question and boom, you get the answer. Now, to make it easier, you can just start writing it. Doing this practice in writing and then moving into then having this deep conversation, within. I do both. I mean, I still do the written part because then I get more context versus when I just do it in my mind. But then I often also just tune in like, okay, what do I feel called to do? What is important for me to know right now? And I get the guidance here. Then I just get like a very short version of the guidance versus when I write it and I get the longer one. But do whatever you feel called to do and it's perfectly fine. Eventually you may then even do it in recording and then you just channel the message as well. It's really a beautiful and easy thing, but any and every person that is willing to receive the guidance will receive the guidance. You just got to open yourself up to it. But here you go, you have the 7 steps. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed these 7 steps that I just shared with you. And if you did do me a favor, hit the like button, maybe even share it with someone. Also, leave me a comment below and let me know. Have you been tuning in and connecting with soul and the higher realms to receive guidance? How is that working out for you? Also, do you ever get those messages, the guidance, in very inappropriate and unexpected times and ways that where you're not really prepared for? Let me know, what was the most inappropriate time that you got the guidance? I would love to know. But here you go, you have the 7 steps. I really hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to also check out the third eye and crown chakra activation to really help you open yourself up even more to really receiving the guidance. But I wanted to say thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant, successful day. Namaste.